Hello and welcome to New York City, the city of concrete jungles. We are here indeed for a vlog, a 6-day trip in New York. This trip is 6 years in the making, and I can't wait to just enjoy time here. The city has meant a lot to me. You can probably see how much I'm smiling, but man, I'm looking forward to this second day in Manhattan. This is so cool. We are indeed crossing Brooklyn Bridge. Absolutely beautiful blue skies over Manhattan and wonderful, wonderful architecture. We are crossing the Brooklyn Bridge with the Manhattan Bridge down there. Honestly, I can't say I've actually been this happy in a very, very long time. We're excited. I very rarely get this excited when I travel. Of course I'm excited, but this is really, really cool. We are now at DUMBO, the famous site where they film a lot of these movie scenes. You get the Manhattan Bridge and the Empire State Building right between these towers over there in the distance. I've always had this scene in mind from Once Upon a Time in America, this beautiful film by Sergio Leone. We are now back in Manhattan to visit the one and only famous Katz Delicatessen. We are starting off with the Katz IPA to go with our pastrami sandwich. You go over to the cutter and you'll get some pastrami sandwiches. Thank you. Here we have our Katz Deli sandwich with the Katz IPA and some pickles. It's very nice, very thickly sliced pastrami. This is brilliant. Massive sandwich. So much pastrami, the pastrami's falling out of the sandwich. Really get this historic vibe. Katz Deli is really one of the most famous delis, perhaps the most famous deli in the world, and is established 2 years after the Statue of Liberty. Now that we have indeed finished our lunch at Katz Deli, what are our thoughts? I think it was a very good meal. It was very surprisingly very good. As for a touristy restaurant, you know, I really enjoyed the experience. It was really nice to line up, get the extra slice of pastrami as you're waiting for them to make it. It's a very good experience in general. I'll highly recommend you to come here. Now, how is the pastrami? The pastrami was really wonderful, which is why you get a pastrami sandwich. You're testing the quality of the pastrami. Very, very nice. Very thick slices. You actually get to taste and feel the texture of the salami. However, if I was to give any criticism, I would say that the bread was quite easy to fall apart. It could barely hold the pastrami in place. I was eating the sandwich and then the bread, my fingers would go straight through the pastrami, which I really could have been better. Having left Katz Deli, we're now walking through Times Square towards the Museum of Modern Art. We're now on Broadway. Absolute concrete jungles. You can really see how people get very impressed by this site. We have arrived outside MoMA, Museum of Modern Art, in what is a very black and sleek looking building. Welcome to Central Park. The real reason why I've come to New York actually is to go fishing here. We're starting off at the pond, which is on the very south side of Central Park. It's probably the worst place to fish. After a few trying hours of fishing in the pond, we have come up short. We are now heading to the second pastrami sandwich shop, Sarge's Delicatessen, to see how it's like. The vibe is a bit different from Katz. Off with 2 types of pickle and coleslaw. Absolutely freezing outside, so I decided to go for a half soup and half pastrami sandwich. You have a very nice broth with the bowl, as well as some meat on the inside of this dumpling. Here we have the pastrami sandwich, which doesn't have any mustard on the inside, unlike Katz. Absolutely freezing, so I'll make it quick. It was a really nice meal. The soup actually stood out more than the pastrami sandwich. I mean, the dumpling and the bowl was just absolutely wonderful. Really, really enjoyed it. Worked so well together. And the pastrami sandwich was really nice. You know, the thinly sliced beef made it really melt and fall apart in your mouth, even more so than the one at Katz. Though I think it comes down to really personal preference. With Katz, you got I suppose, a more meaty feel, whereas this was just a bit lighter. It was a lighter sandwich in general. Second full day in New York, and today we are starting off, before we go fishing, at Gray's Papaya. Nothing more unique and iconic about New York City than hot dog. So I am totally looking forward to this. Quite packed inside, so we're just going to enjoy the hot dog on the outside in the blue weather. Absolutely beautiful. One of the best hot dogs I've had in my life, if not even the best. Beautiful blue skies on Central Park West. You can see the tall buildings downtown Manhattan. It is very chilly, it's 3 degrees, despite the sun being out. Nonetheless, it is absolutely beautiful. We're sitting with a scene of lower downtown Manhattan on these rocks with our papaya juice from Gray's Papaya. So nice, quite sweet. Oh, but man, what a beautiful way to start the day. Finishing our second half day of fishing in Central Park. Absolutely beautiful, really enjoy it here. I mean, what an amazing time to be around. I mean, we're not catching any fish, but it is absolutely beautiful. You have some beautiful flowers, beautiful trees. This is just brilliant, isn't it? We are currently in Greenwich Village to explore some of the famous pizza restaurants and just walk around. First place we're going to, we are stopping by Joe's Famous Pizza. This is indeed the classic pizza. Let's see how it is. Cheesy, crispy, just what you expect. Greenwich really has a small town vibe of coffee shops, of restaurants. We have now arrived at Bleecker Street Pizza for our second pizza of the day. We have them making the pizzas and the slices over there. Here is the famous Nonna Maria pizza. Now leaving Bleecker Street Pizza behind us. What a pizza. If I said that the first one, pizza, Joe's Pizza, was the crispiest pizza I've ever had, that blows it out of the water. Even more crispy. Crazy stuff. Really enjoyed it. Pulling up at our next pizza joint, Mama's 2. Collection of pizzas. Shop. Famous cacio e pepe. That was very enjoyable, but also very heavy. However, that's kind of just a choice of pizzas. What do you expect when you get 4 cheeses? Now we have John's of Bleecker Street. Here our pizza has arrived, half of the classic and a Jimmy Gambino. Absolutely massive pizza. Can't wait to try to finish the whole thing ourselves. That was some very nice pizza. The pepper was fresh, which gave it a very new type of flavour on a pizza I've never really had before. I have to say it wasn't as crispy as the other ones, and it also kind of fell apart when you were trying to pick it up. But it was still a very nice pizza nonetheless. We are now at the Hudson. This is absolutely beautiful. I'm planning to go fishing here tonight. We now try our nighttime fishing at the Hudson off Manhattan, walking past Pier 62 down to Pier 40, hopefully get some stripers, or if not, just some flounders. We don't really have the tackle to be fishing off these piers, but hopefully we do catch something. Slowly working through this structures with this small silver jig. What a beautiful scenery to be casting into. Unfortunately, we didn't catch anything tonight. However, we are indeed enjoying the beautiful scenery on the way to the MTR, the subway, including this beautiful building of Google. We spent the morning enjoying the facilities at the New York Athletic Club, and now we're heading to Blue Ribbon Sushi for what my friend says is the best fried chicken in town. Quite a nice setting. The miso comes separately from the soup, which is quite cool. You're meant to mix it in. We have some natto rolls, which are some fermented beans. This looks absolutely brilliant. Most expensive fried chicken I've had in my life. But let us see whether it's good enough. So crispy. Really one of the best fried chickens ever. After what has been marvellous fried chicken, we're now walking through Central Park to indeed go to the Frick collection. It's a squirrel. Hello, squirrel. How are you doing today? Ni hao, what the pangyo. Hello. How are you? Ah, squirrel. We are now outside the Frick collection. Well, we are now on our way to the Met, walking past this very odd Messiah's here sign. In the words of Captain America, I think there is only one Messiah, and I am pretty damn sure he does not look like that. We are now outside the Met. Can't believe I never actually came here the first time I was in New York City. I'm looking forward to this. We are now going to the Hot Dog King outside the Met, quite a famous hot dog joint. Really nice place to people watch actually while we're enjoying our hot dog on the steps of the Met. We are now inside the Met, which is really cool. This is an interesting painting. You have John the Baptist and the baptism of Christ, but it is in such a dark and gloomy setting. Here we have the death of Socrates. It's interesting how you see so many of these paintings which try to mimic the Romantic style. Perhaps a great symbol of American history, Washington crossing the Delaware. Beautiful painting. This is a wholly beautiful painting. It has some purple tints just to reflect the sunrise. We now have Apollo Bagels. This is a famous bagel shop in New York. We have what allegedly is the world's best orange juice. Very nice. We have our salmon with the everything bagel. I have to say that's probably the best bagels I've had in my life. The bagel is crispy, everything bagel brilliant, and the orange juice very fresh and sweet. We're now going to go to a park and actually properly enjoy them. We are now heading to Keen's Chophouse or Steakhouse for the famous mutton chop. Nice decor with all the famous pipes on the ceiling. We are starting off with the house salad. Here we have a famous mutton chop with a homemade mint jelly. This looks absolutely stunning. I've never had mutton before, but this looks absolutely brilliant. You rarely have mutton chops at restaurants, so this is going to be quite exciting. It doesn't disappoint. That was absolutely brilliant. Very, very good. That mint sauce is so fresh and goes perfectly with the lamb. Really well cooked medium. New York cheesecake. That was absolutely brilliant. You very rarely have mutton, but that was so good. Can't put into words how enjoyable that meal was. Probably actually the best meal so far in New York. That and maybe some of the pizzas, but that was very, very special. Really enjoyed it. We are now on the north side of Central Park at Harlem Meer to hopefully finally break our dry spell. I can't believe it. The Dunkin donut is still here. Last time I was here 5 years ago, I met my friend Baby J fishing at Dunkin Donuts. So man, I'm looking forward to this. Our last day fishing. One of our last spots to explore in New York for fishing in Central Park, Harlem Meer. Hopefully we catch some fish. Let's go for it. We have our first fish of the trip. We have our bluegill, which is one of the species. I knew Harlem Meer was going to deliver. The fishing here is way better than the other places around the Central Park. We have our second bluegill. We're now catching quite a few of these things. We have just finished fishing. That was really rewarding and really enjoyable. Now time to head back to the hotel and get some rest. Maybe have dinner. Probably go to Sarge's just because it's close. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow morning at Harlem Meer to try to catch some bass in the last days that we have in New York. Order is similar, super soup with pickles, but we also have corned beef sandwich instead of pastrami. Here we have the corned beef sandwich. Here you have the cheesecake, which is absolutely humongous. Rank my time out as the best cheesecake in New York. Doesn't disappoint. Wow, that was so nice. I am so stuffed. Cheesecake was brilliant, very big, biggest cheesecake I've ever seen in my life. I love cheesecakes actually, it's my favourite dessert probably. And yeah, I mean, super soup was nice as always. Probably the best soup I've actually had, which is kind of coming from someone who's probably dined at some of the best restaurants in some of the biggest cities around the world. I say that super soup is the best that I've had. And corned beef sandwich, very nice as well. Very enjoyable. I would say almost as good as a pastrami sandwich. Not even better. Thinly sliced falls apart in your mouth. I actually quite like the flavour of corned beef, perhaps even more than pastrami. We begin our last day in New York fishing in Harlem, Meer. I have to say, this is where it all started. Nostalgia, belief, and love. Always in Harlem, Meer, and I am so grateful to be here. But before that, one nostalgic stop at this Dunkin donut shop. We have our glazed donut overlooking Harlem, Meer, where we start fishing. I've heard that there's some koi over there that have been spotted, so that's where I'm going to start. Yesterday we went off and started from that direction. This time we're going to fish around this side of the Meer. You know, there's another world in which I might have gone to Columbia. When I was choosing for undergrad, I had two options, Columbia or Oxford, and I chose Oxford. Sometimes I think about it and I don't exactly know what I would have chosen instead. What would life have been if I went to Columbia? And I'll be fishing at Harlem, Meer a lot more. But yeah, that's surprising. I didn't actually think about it. You know, when I normally think about Columbia, I'll be thinking, oh, maybe I would have gone into finance instead, or maybe I would have gone to law or something a bit less academic. But perhaps what I would have done instead of all of, oh, would you be academic or not, is just come fishing all the time, and that's completely possible as well. Because, I mean, it's just brilliant fishing out here. Well, let's get right into it then. We got wind that there might be smaller bass on 59th Street, but it might be easy to catch them. So we're going to drop all the way down to the pond, actually. But before that, we're going to head over to Columbia. We're now swinging by the Church of Notre Dame. Crazy to think that in an alternative universe, I could have been a senior at this present moment at Columbia. This is kind of funny. Having left North Oxford behind us, we are now at Columbus Circle on our way to the pond. We're on our way there. We're going to stop by Magnolia Bakery, which apparently has some of the best banana puddings, and we're going to have that for lunch. I mean, yes, I know, I am actually getting bloody obese, but hear me out. The calories from that Krispy Kreme or that Dunkin donut and banana pudding should still not be as much as how much I burnt walking around. We've gone into Magnolia Bakery for a banana pudding. We are now back in Central Park to find a spot to enjoy our pudding. We have found a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to sit on to enjoy our banana pudding. I've now made a bit of a miscalculation. I have my banana pudding, but I don't have a spoon to eat it. So I think I'm going to use this lid as a spoon to try to eat this banana pudding. My friend is right. This is indeed one of the best, actually probably the best banana pudding I've had in my life. Not that I think I've had a banana pudding before, but it's just so nice. Now that we've finished this banana pudding, time to gear up, kit up, and spend our last 2 hours of fishing in Central Park. Hopefully we get a bass. That was the closest we got to a bass and a koi. We're stalking 5 kois, but unfortunately none of them ate in the same way as it was up in Harlem, Meer. They didn't go for the corn, the fake worm, or even the bread. However, we also saw a bass, but that bass once again was quite skittish. He got scared by the inline spinner, so I switched back to this tiny bait. I mean, the bluegill were going for my other worms, so I'm actually quite hopeful. I can't believe it. We literally got a strike, guys. We got a strike. Then the bass missed the lure and bit the tree instead. An inch away from the bass. Oh man. Well, luckily we still have about an hour left to go, maybe half an hour. So last 30 minutes, we'll try to fish that side of the pond and hopefully catch something. Right at the death, but what we've gotten, we've caught a largemouth bass. Oh my gosh. A largemouth bass on the last cast of the trip. One of the last casts of the trip. I am so chuffed. I decided to come back here, let's leave in the water as I give a bit of a speech, but I was just bringing my soft plastic through here, and all of a sudden, bam! I got the bass. I mean, it's not the biggest one, but man, it put up a decent fight. And I managed to pull it over. I am so happy, absolutely chuffed. Oh my gosh, this reminds me of like 5 years ago when I was fishing for this largemouth bass. It was the exact same thing. Almost one of the last casts of the trip. And then we caught it, and now we can let it go. On the very end, let's get it. Let's unhook him and set him back. One of the last casts of the trip, I thought I would just come back to the bottom of the lake where I got a strike before and let him go right on the soft plastic. What was this? He even has a small fish in his mouth that he was eating. That is crazy. Wow, I can't believe it. Safe release. I had to get the fish stuck out of his mouth to throw it out again because otherwise it was stuck in his throat and he couldn't swallow it. So let him go. He swam off. Can't believe it. Last cast of the day. Well, one of the last casts of the day, and we got a largemouth bass. Right in the shallows. Crazy, crazy stuff. Oh my gosh. That makes this whole trip worth it. It's crazy. I can't believe it, guys. We've set out and accomplished what we've always wanted to do, which is catch largemouth bass in Central Park. Again, for the second time, and we have done it. Now it's time to leave the park and head back to our hotel. We're going to see our dear friend and recreate a picture that I took with him before we got into Oxford and Harlem respectively, and I can't wait to do that as well. But man, as we leave Central Park for one last time, what a special moment to be able to catch that bass. Yes, it might have been smaller than some of the bluegills we've caught. Yes, it might not be as big as the bass that we initially caught, but it's a bass nonetheless. I don't know what to say, man. I can't put into words. Maybe some things, some feelings are better left undescribed, because no words can do justice to it. We are trying Taco Bell for the first time. Interesting. We are currently in Newark Airport to head down to South Carolina. Thank you for watching this vlog. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you found some good food places to eat next time you're in New York. And man, what a meaningful trip I've had. Really enjoyed it and wraps up some important stages in my life. I will see you soon in the next video.